Let us discuss the next question. This is from the year 2017. With reference to the Parliament of India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. A private member's bill is a bill presented by a member of Parliament who is not elected but who is only nominated by the President of India. So this statement is saying that a private member's bill is a bill which is presented by an MP who is not elected but who is nominated. Statement 2. Recently, a private member's bill has been passed in the Parliament for the first time in the history of India. Which of the following statements are correct? Now, we divide bills into two types of bills. One is the government bill, the other is the private bill. When we say government bill, it is a bill which is introduced by a person who is the minister in the government. When we say private bill, any bill which is introduced by a person who is not a minister, such bills are known as private bills. So statement 1 is saying that a private bill is a bill which is presented by a person who is not elected but who is only nominated. No, that is not the meaning. A private bill is a bill which is presented by a person who is not a minister. So statement 1 is incorrect. Coming to statement 2, our private bill has been passed in the Parliament for the first time in the history as of 2017. No, the private bill for the first time was passed in 1950s itself. So it's not for the first time in the history that a private bill was passed as of recent in the 2017. So this statement is also incorrect. Which of the following statements are correct? Both the statements are incorrect. So answer will be D. Neither 1 nor 2. Now let us look at the in-depth explanation. A bill can be introduced either by a minister or by any person, any MP who is not a minister also. When it is introduced by a minister, it is called the government bill, like I discussed here. And when it is introduced by a person who is not a minister, in that case, it will be called as a private bill. So that is why statement 1 was incorrect, because it gave the wrong definition of a private member bill. And when the private member bill is being introduced, it cannot be done on all of the days. It can be discussed and introduced only on Fridays. So a particular day is allotted in the Parliament for the introduction and discussion of the private member bills. And if a private member bill has to be introduced, 1 month prior notice has to be given before the introduction of the bill. And what is the implication of the private bills? The private bills give the opposition or the people who are not there in the ministership of the government to reflect their opinions, or if they want to legislate something for the country, if they want to show something that has to be legislated, that can be shown by the private member bills. Because by doing this, by using this weapon, the opposition can tell the government, see, this is what you're supposed to legislate on, but because you're not legislating on, we, even though we are not in the government, we are trying to legislate it using the private member bill. So it will get the attention of the ruling government. And in case there are multiple bills which are to be introduced, multiple private bills which are to be introduced, in that case a ballot system will be used so that the sequence of the bills for the introduction has to be decided. And coming to the statement number 2, a recent history of the private bill for the first time was introduced in the history. That is incorrect, because it was in 1952 the first private member bill was introduced and passed, the Waqf Board bill introduced by Muhammad Ahmad Kasmi in almost 1952. As of now, we have 14 private bills which are passed, and none of the private bills were passed as after the 1970s. So no recent bill was introduced. Also, no recent bill was introduced for the first time, because for the first time it happened in 1952, and after 1970 we didn't introduce any private member bill. Hence statement 2 is also incorrect.